Hello everyone, this is yet another beautiful day. I have something good for every one of you today. My name is Deborah Shobie and this is my pathway to success with Successful Media. Yeah, the gist is this. We have in the house today a cardiothoracic vascular surgeon. He's a specialist, a consultant. His name is Dr. Augustine Olugbemi. He's going to be talking to us about the heart. We all know that the heart is a very vital organ in the body. There is nobody that can live without your heart functioning properly. You know the heartbeat they talk about, beating bum 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 bum. Sit comfortably and listen to the information that you need to have a healthy heart. Thank you and God bless you. See you again.
There are three aspects: cardiac, kidney, heart. Heart, then thoracic, chest, and the lung, esophagus, sphincter, the diaphragm.
I mean, you see, when you take care of others, I, for one, I believe that God is not going to take his eyes off you. He's going to ensure that you're doing well, you're living a good life, your health is in order, because what you're seeing out there, people.
Otherwise, but so we are connected with most problems.
Not everybody who went to medical school has came out to achieve their God is saying at the time,
Every blood vessel, apart from the head, apart from the head, is neuro. It gives me joy. I can put smile on somebody's face.
Behavior has to be right. Hello, Dr. Augustine Olugbemi. Welcome to Success Media.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here. Thanks for having me here.
We really thank God that you're always, there to ensure that you speak what people really need to hear in order for them to live a good life and live healthy.
Yes, it's a privilege.
Thank you so much.
Privilege.
You doctors are so busy.
Well, so it seems.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you have time for others, you also have time for yourself. Which balance, the life?
Well, we try as much as possible, but a lot of doctors are not finding it easy.
I know.
Because we are very few.
Oh, wow.
And especially in my kind of field, we are very extremely few.
Wow.
So a lot of work is out there.
Wow.
And that tells on you. So many times you hardly have time for other things.
Wow.
Because most of the time your mind is all about the patient. You have a patient, like today I've been operating.
Wow.
So even though I'm here, my mind is also on my patient.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're so passionate about the lives of people. You want them to be well. That's a very good one. You see, when you take care of others, I, for one, I believe that God is not going to take his eyes off you. He's going to ensure that you're doing well, you're living a good life, your health is in order, because, it's what you're giving out there to people. Now, a quick one. You are a cardiothoracic and a vascular surgeon.
Yes.
And everybody knows to go to school, it's not easy. And I can say that this took many years before you could achieve this milestone that today you are a surgeon and you are a specialist, a consultant, if I'm not mistaken. That's all you are. So I know that it was not an easy journey.
True.
So would you like to just tell us the how do I put it now, the way the journey started, in between and at the end of it, how it happened that today you are who you dreamt to become?
Okay. First of all, it's my life is a life of grace. And I've always wanted to be a doctor from my primary school days.
Wow.
I remember when I was in primary school, we used to use catapults in the village those days.
Wow.
And we'll kill birds and shoot lizards, cut them open and try to close it and let the lizard go. That was just the instinct. That was just pointing me to the direction of who I'm supposed to be.
Wow.
So when I finished secondary school, of course, I did very well in school. Got into university. Of course, I didn't get medicine initially.
Okay.
So I went in to do microbiology. So after doing microbiology, finished microbiology, did my youth service, then I came back to do medicine. Took direct entry form and went back to University of Lagos to do medicine for another 5 years. And then after qualifying as a doctor, you spend 1 year in housemanship.
Okay.
After that, spent another year doing medical officer job while waiting for residency to become a specialist. And then I started residency. That took another 8 years.
Wow.
I spent about 4 years in Nigeria, another 4 years in South Africa, Ghana, the US training.
Wow.
And then I became a consultant. But being a consultant is actually where the work begins.
Okay.
Because that is the place of responsibility. So that is where the work actually begins. So it's been a torturous journey. It's been a journey of tenacity.
Okay.
You know, it's been tough. Many times the money wasn't there. People had to support me at some point, you know. But the determination and the focus has just kept me going.
Wow.
And being a doctor is pleasant because when you see patients that you treat get well, and the family, they are happy, the patient is happy, you are fulfilled. There's no amount of money they can pay you that can equate that joy you have. You know, especially as a cardiac surgeon, cardiothoracic surgeon, I operate on the heart, I operate on the lungs, I operate on the diaphragm and the vascular, the blood vessels. Especially for those children that have holes in the heart, that are born with problems, holes in the heart.
Heart defects.
Heart defects. So when these patients are fixed, these holes are fixed, the joy that comes to the parents, and you see them laughing, you see the child now growing, playing, now in school.
Yeah.
You can't equate, you can't pay for it.
Wow.
It's fun. So it's been a torturous journey, but God has been there also.
Wow.
It's just been by God's grace.
Yeah. You know, it's funny and emotional when you see that someone goes to school, go through all the stress, you know, do all of these stressful things just because you want to be able to give life to someone there. You know, it's like you're just saying, God, you made me to think the way you think about others. And I know that's the way you think about me, to be well. So now I also want to live that exemplary life whereby I can see someone that is not well and I get into their case and they become, you know, well. They have the life that they want to have. You know, that's what I see this to be. And like I said earlier on, there's no how God will not fix his eyes on you because you're doing what he does. He gave you the grace, he gave you all that it takes for you to be able to say, I'm going to do it. It's not everybody who went to medical school that came out to achieve their milestone. Some will say at the time it was difficult, that it can't continue, it's too much. But you haven't known that this is life you want to save. You decided that no matter what you go through in this journey, you're going to stay put and ensure you get to the end of it. That is a dream that must come true. So I just want to say, well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And how long has it been? Putting all the years together, how long can you say it took you to achieve this milestone that today you are not just a surgeon, you are a specialist, you are a consultant? I mean, tell us.
It's taken about 26 years.
Wow.
Yes.
26 years?
Yes, it's taken about 26 years. So it's been hectic. That's the truth. It's taken about 26 years, and of those 26 years, the last 18 years of those 26 years has been very tough, and then the last 12 years has been the years of responsibility.
Wow.
Yes.
I once heard a nurse said, because I know it's a medical field.
Yeah.
Yeah. She said when I have a patient that is not well, I am not well.
Okay.
When the patient is well, I am well. And I said, is that how connected this can be?
Yes.
He said, yes.
Yes. You see, because we connect with our patients. You see, and not just to the patients. We also connect to the families of the patients. You see, the patient is a complete. It's not just about the illness. When you have a patient before you, the patient is not just all about the illness. The financing of the patient is important. The relatives of the patient is important. If you are dealing with a man that is married, the husband, the wife is important. The children are important. So the patient is not just the patient you're looking at. It encompasses all these other aspects. So it's a totality we deal with. So when you're dealing with the patient, you're dealing with the patient, you're dealing with the finance of the patient, you're dealing with the relatives of the patient, you're dealing with the spouse of the patient. So it's a complete thing. So we are attached to this patient. And many times we remember, like today, one of the patients I operated about 2 years ago, when this child couldn't swallow, was born with a defect, swallowing problem. We operated the child, and the child did very well.
Wow.
Went to school. Now he's growing, but he has some challenges. The child came back, I think 2 days ago. And when the child saw me, the child ran to me. The mother was so excited.
Wow, the child could recognize you.
Of course.
Wow.
Of course. So this child otherwise would have died a long time ago. But so we are connected. When the mom saw me, sometimes these patients even come, they hug you. Wow. They are so excited. So we're connected. We're connected.
Wow. Now, for someone who doesn't know what you are doing, right? The surgeon that you are.
Yeah.
How can you explain to make them understand what that means?
Cardiothoracic and vascular. Okay. So cardiothoracic means there are 3 aspects. Cardiac, which deals with the heart.
Okay.
The heart, basically. Then thoracic, which deals with the chest. That is the lungs, the esophagus, the trachea, the diaphragm. That's thoracic.
Yeah.
Then vascular is blood vessels. Oh. Every blood vessel in the body, apart from the head. And apart from the head, which neuro takes care of.
Oh,
But every other blood vessel, what I specialize in handling, any diseases that require surgical care.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I specialize. But more importantly is the cardiac, heart problems, whether valve problems in the heart or holes in the heart, or blood vessels that are blocked that supplies the heart. That's what I do, fixing it.
You just talked about the blood vessels that are blocked, right? That supplies blood to the heart, right? What is the cause of the blockage that happens in those vessels? And how can they be avoided if they are caused by the human who is carrying the heart? How can they be avoided?
Okay, now there are 2 terms that people need to understand here. Okay. There's what you call heart failure.
Okay.
And then there's what you call heart attack. There are 2 different things.
Right.
Okay. So heart failure means the heart is failing. It's not able to perform what it's supposed to do. The main function of the heart is to pump blood around the body.
Yeah.
So it pumps blood around the body, and the blood goes back against the heart.
Okay.
So from the heart, it goes to the lung. As you breathe in air, the air goes to the lungs, and then from the lungs goes back to the heart.
Okay.
And then the heart again pumps that blood with oxygen.
Wow.
Around the body, because every cell needs this oxygen that's in the blood, and all the nutrients and everything. So the heart pumps it around. But if for any reason the heart is not able to do that, or there's a problem, there are different ways the heart can have problems with pumping blood. The structures can have problems, like the valves can be problematic. If there's a problem with the valve or any of the chambers, if they have any problem, then the heart will not be able to function the way it should. The heart has an electrical system, just like the wiring of a place, of a house. If you see the heart beats constantly, it's like electricity. The heart has its own electrical system. Okay, if you remove the heart now and put on the floor, it will keep beating because of that intrinsic electrical system of the heart that keeps it beating.
Yeah.
Okay, there can be a problem with that electrical line, that system. And if there is a problem with that system, then the heart will begin to fail. will not be able to pump blood the way it should. Apart from that, there are some other organs that can affect the heart.
What are the
like
organs?
the lungs, for instance.
Okay.
If there is a problem with the lungs, some problems, some diseases of the lungs can affect the heart and cause the heart to fail. Some diseases of the kidneys can affect the heart and cause the heart to fail.
Wow.
So when the heart is failing, those people, they are not able to, they don't have enough strength to do what they used to do. They get tired easily. Sometimes their legs begin to swell. Sometimes their tummy begins to swell. Sometimes they begin to cough or have difficulty breathing. That is heart failing because it's not able to pump blood the way it should.
Okay.
Then heart attack is different.
Okay.
Heart attack is usually a sudden thing. Okay. And most of this happens when there is a blockage. A blockage, you see, the heart, even though the heart supplies blood to the whole body, the heart also has vessels, blood vessels that supplies it.
Okay.
So when those vessels are blocked or narrowed by what we call plaques, I will tell you more about that. When they are narrowed, that means blood is not getting to the heart itself the way it should. The heart, then patients can have heart attack. The heart can just stop. Sometimes they just have sudden sharp pain and then they just collapse.
Wow.
Yes.
So that's why they say people just slump and die.
Exactly.
So what's the cause? You just said something now that
heart attack, yes, many times is caused by plaques.
What plaques?
Plaques are just things that clog. You know, just imagine a pipe.
Maybe cholesterol?
Yes, cholesterol is one of them. Cholesterol is one of them. People that smoke. You know, smoking can also cause that, you know, increase that plaque in the blood vessel. So what it does is, just imagine a pipe, the plumbing pipe, your tap.
Yeah.
You know, when you have food and everything going through the basin. And clogs it.
Yeah.
It's something
water
like
can
that.
flow out easily.
Exactly.
Oh.
It's the same thing that happens to the heart. But when those plaques, those cholesterol and some other things, they block or narrow the blood vessel that supplies the heart. So when that happens, enough blood doesn't go to the heart. It doesn't get to the heart muscle. So patients can have heart attacks. So smoking is one of those things. Obesity, these are things that, obesity means people that are very fat.
They have
BMI, body mass index is more than the normal, you know. So those put pressure. You know, apart from that, things like alcohol, sedentary lifestyle, you know, all those things, hypercholesterolemia, kind of food you eat. Food that contains, you know, all those kind of fats and all those kind of things. Food. So those things can actually accumulate in the blood vessel. It's not just the heart these things happen. Sometimes they happen in the peripheral vessels, in the legs. And when they happen in the legs, blood is not getting enough to the legs. What happens? The patient begins to feel pain, just like what a patient will feel for the heart. The heart can also happen in the legs. It can happen in the kidneys. Some people have kidney problems. You see some people are doing dialysis. Kidney failure. It can also cause it. So those things. So that's the difference between heart attack
and heart
failure.
So how can that be resolved? How can it be prevented? Let me put it that way.
Basically, the first thing is healthy lifestyle.
Okay.
Healthy lifestyle.
That includes?
Healthy lifestyle includes doing exercise.
Good.
Sleeping well.
Good.
Sleeping, not. I'm not saying you should go and be sleeping for 13 hours, 14 hours.
No.
But at least 6 hours. Get good sleep, because when you sleep, your body recuperates. The body rejuvenates, repairs itself. Okay. Then, if smoking is not good for anybody, it does not add anything to you, health-wise. Smoking, and it has the ability to cause a lot of harm, not just to your heart. Can cause lung problems, cancer, can cause blood vessel problems. Then eating healthy, cooked food, prepared food, not
junk.
Not junks.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
More vegetables. Eat proper cooked food. You know, meals. Take more water. Reduce things like sugars. They're not very good, because if your blood sugar is high, diabetes is also a contributing factor to these heart problems. Diabetes. Okay, so eat well, eat healthy. Then it's important. If you walk on a 4th floor or 5th floor, don't always take the
Take
lift.
the lift. Good.
Use the staircase.
Yeah.
It's your own way of doing some exercise. If you have to go to the next bus stop, maybe you're going to visit a friend, you don't have to drive. You can walk.
I do that a lot.
Yes. So these are healthy lifestyles. You know, it helps you. It's good for the heart. Exercise is good for the heart. Keeps the heart going, and it keeps your body in shape.
Now, a lot of people say, because you said exercise is good, so I just want us to, speak more about this exercise.
Yeah.
So most people will tell you that I am slim, so I don't need exercise.
That's not
Is
true.
exercise meant for just to reduce your weight, or
Now-
is to keep your body healthy?
No, it's not just to reduce your weight.
Okay.
The exercise keeps you fit.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen fat, fit people. They can outrun slim people.
Good.
Now, it's not just about being slim. Exercise is good for the muscles. It's good for the heart. Okay, it's good for the lungs. So there are different kinds of exercise: swimming, cycling, golfing, playing football, walking,
running,
jogging. Yes.
Yeah.
All these are different exercises that keeps, and apart from that, they're also good for your joints. When you see people that are arthritic because they're not using these joints properly. So anything you don't use, there's what they call disuse atrophy. That is, you're not using it, so it's deteriorating. The same thing with the human body. So the more you exercise your body, the fitter you become. You get more fit, and you live a better life.
You see, I can remember that was during the COVID. I was having this pain all over my body, and I called my brother, and he said to me, "You always complain about pain. Do you exercise at all?" I said, "No." He said, "You need exercise. Start now." I started exercising. Doctor, that was the end of the frequent pain. Just went like that. If I tell you I'm feeling pains now, it's because probably I overworked myself. But then it has nothing to do with overworking yourself. Just like you explained, it's like my body was getting stiff because there was no exercise. Nothing was making the body working except when I go to work. When you go to work, you walk. It's different from when you are exercising your body.
Yeah. That you go to work doesn't mean you're doing exercise. Some people go to work and sit on the computer for 8 hours. That's not exercise.
That's not exercise.
That's sedentary lifestyle. That's sedentary lifestyle.
You see,
it's sedentary lifestyle.
You see, this part is very, very crucial for everyone to understand, the importance of exercise in your health. And again, the junk food. People like to go. I'm not saying that restaurants are not good. You can go to restaurants. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you don't eat the right food, right, you're killing your body.
Then another thing that is important is, even if you have to sit in the computer for a long time, every 1 or 2 hours, get up, walk around, 15 minutes, go, come. That's one. 2, there are what you also call hereditary problems.
Okay.
Hereditary problems are things that are passed from parents to children, or from grandparents to children, parents, downwards.
Yeah.
If you have a parent that is hypertensive, diabetic, or has heart problems, you have to check yourself early, because there's a possibility of transfer of that to you genetically. Okay? That is very important.
If you don't, like you said, check yourself early.
Yeah.
Reason of checking yourself is so that you don't go through that path they went through. It could be the wrong food they were eating.
Yeah.
They were not exercising. They were not doing the right thing that would have, avoid the problem, right? So when you find that out very early, you tell yourself, okay, I know that this is what I'm going to be doing. I'll make sure I exercise. My parents didn't do that. I'll make sure I eat the right food. They didn't do that. You understand? I think that is the way this can be solved, right?
Yes, that's quite.
When it comes to genetic.
That's correct.
Right.
But I'm just stressing the genetic part, because if your father has that problem, your mother has anything, heart or diabetes, or even cancer, you need to be aware that these things can jump to you. So you must be aware of that and be checking early. Apart from that, you discover that these days, younger people have problems now. in those days, we used to see elderly people have all these heart problems, liver problems, kidney problems, diabetes.
Yeah.
But these days,
Children, even a year-old child, 2 years old.
yes, because of what we eat, what we drink,
Oh.
yes, mostly attributed to it. Yes, that you are getting big is not a sign of good living.
Oh yeah. I know that's the
It's
common.
not, yes, it's not a sign of good
word,
living.
yeah.
It's actually problematic. Yes, yes.
For children who have this heart defect, what
Yes.
is actually the cause? Because
Now-
the child are not lived, they just give birth to the child and they discover that this problem is there.
Now, I'm very passionate about this because I love children, and that is one of my core areas,
Oh,
cardiac,
wow.
especially when it comes to children.
Okay.
Now, when a child is born with a heart problem, we say it's congenital. That is, the child is born with it.
Okay.
It wasn't something that was acquired.
Yeah, okay.
Many times it can be a hole in the heart. You know, when the heart is developing, the development was not complete, or there was a problem, or it was stopped abruptly. Then the structures of the heart are not the way they should. Then as the child is born, the child begins to have problems. There are different types,
Yeah.
a variety of types. Now, certain things can cause it.
Okay.
One is genetic. Two is sometimes when the mother is pregnant, during the pregnancy, exposure of the mother to certain things, certain drugs, chemotherapy drugs, especially the first 3 months of pregnancy. Exposure to radiation can cause it. But sometimes, most times, you don't know what is causing it.
Okay.
We say it's idiopathic, you don't know what is causing it. It just happens. Okay? So, those are the things. And these children usually have problems. Some of them, some people can even grow.
And then later?
Later discover. Maybe when they are, because some of these defects, there are different types of it. Some of them you can live with it. Some of them you can't live with it. Some of them you can manage, and then sometimes begins to cause problems with time. So, depend on what type it is. Then that determines what kind of, what time of the symptoms is going to show. Some of them, they are not even compatible with life. As the child is born, within 1 2 days, they die off. Yeah, depend on the severity of the heart defect.
But would there not be a measure to put in place to eliminate such things, to avoid such
elimination is difficult. Like I said, many times it's idiopathic. That is, you don't know what is causing it. But certain things are important. You know, like if first 3 months of pregnancy, mothers should stay away from radiation, should stay away from chemotherapy drugs and all those kind of things. You know, those are just measures. But even it doesn't mean that you're ever exposed to radiation doesn't mean that the child must have defects. You know, it's just that it has been linked to some. Okay.
I know of a pregnant woman who said that.
But sorry, just one more thing. It's important when the lady is pregnant to follow up with the gynecologist because they do scan obstetrician, because they monitor the baby. But many times when they have this problem, they can be detected in utero when they are still in the womb.
Okay.
So when they do scan regularly, scan can pick some of these abnormalities.
All right.
Okay, and when they pick it, then they can begin to alert the doctor. Look, it looks like this. So that can determine how the baby should even be born.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Can they arrest the situation at that point when the baby is still in the mother's womb?
I remember a case of one we detected in utero. We couldn't really do anything about it, but we prepared the parents' mind to the kind of life this child is going to have when the child is born, and prepare the parents' mind for surgery after the birth of the patient. So once the patient was born, I think on the day 5, we took the patient to the theater, we operated the patient, and we solved the patient's problem.
That's the baby?
The baby, yes.
Wow.
5-day-old.
And it was solved?
Yes, it was solved.
Wow.
And baby is fine. Baby is in school now.
Oh.
Yes.
That's great.
So, monitoring these children when they are in utero is important.
Oh.
Visiting the obstetrician, okay, is very, very important. Yeah.
Yeah, like I was saying, the lady said there are some certain food that a pregnant woman is not meant to eat when you are in your first 3 months.
Well, I don't know about that. I really cannot tell to say, okay, this is the kind of
Yeah,
food
because
to
you're
eat.
not a gynecologist
But what I would
anyway.
say is eat healthy.
Wow.
Eat healthy. I cannot say that there is no food that you eat. They will say, okay, this you eat this food, it can cause this.
Yeah.
I've not seen that. Okay, but once a pregnant woman, once a lady is pregnant, eat well. Yes,
Well,
because the baby needs the food anyway. So you need to eat well.
Okay, if you want to advise, most especially men, you know, men, they work so hard that some of them don't even have time to take care of their health. Some don't go to the gym. What would be your advice for men? Because you are a man and you are a surgeon.
Yes. Yes. For a man, the first thing is that once a man turns 40, you need to be doing regular checkups.
Okay.
At least once a year. General checkup. Check your blood pressure, your blood sugar, do your blood test to check if there's any infection, to check your kidneys, to check your liver. At least once in a year. Do an ECG to check your heart, do an echo to check your heart, and then do what we call examine your prostate. Okay, because men, some can, as men develop, as they grow, as they get older, the prostate gland can enlarge, and when it begins to enlarge, in some men it can be problematic. It can be problematic in two ways. It can be problematic in such a way that they have a problem with urinating. Okay. But it's not cancer.
All right.
The other one is that they're not having problem with, sometimes they even have problem urinating, but it's now cancerous. So that is, so once they are getting above 40, 45, they should do what we call rectal examination, do prostate scan, and they can do what we call PSA, prostatic specific antigen. These are just some of the things they can do. Chest x-ray, echo to check your heart once in a year. Okay, and of course, it's important to have a social life.
Okay.
A social life.
Yeah.
Don't just be consumed with your work. That's why abroad, you find people, they say they are going on holidays.
Oh,
yeah. It's important.
Yeah, they do that a lot.
Create time with your family. Spend some time out of work. Don't go to your laptops or anything. Just relax. It's very important. And then the weekends, it's also very important. Then I want to stress the fact that you need God.
Oh yeah, sure. That's a
Don't plan your life outside God.
Yeah.
Because God factor is critical. Very, very critical. Okay. So the God factor there is you need to have time for God, have time to fellowship with God, have time to be in God's presence. Because all these are important in your well-being altogether.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. So what's your pathway to success? I know you're going to talk about God here because you just talked about God.
Yeah, our pathway to success, the first thing is God.
Oh, good.
God is the first thing. Because God gives you strength. God gives you direction.
Even the dreams.
Yes, and God gives you guidance. Okay, so the first thing is God. The second thing is determination. You see, because whatever your dream is, it can come true. You need determination.
Yeah.
The third thing is focus. Focus. You see, there are so many things that can distract into this world.
Yeah.
The social media is there.
Oh, tell me about it.
Are there.
Yeah.
The family, they are there. There's so many things that can distract you.
Even the situation on ground in every country right now.
Exactly.
Things are not just working.
So, focus is important. You are going to come across things that will shake you, but keep focus. When you keep focus, you see, if I am looking at that line, and I want to go to that line, and I keep my eyes on that line, I can walk to that place and be on a straight line. But if I turn my eyes from that line for any reason, I will deviate from the line.
Wow.
So focus is very important. And then too, finance too is important. There are so many people that have dropped out of what they wanted to do because of finance.
No,
for me, at some point, I was schooling and working.
Okay.
Because I had a first degree, microbiology.
Yeah.
So I was using that, and I was in medical school.
Raising money.
Raising money.
Okay.
And of course, people also help me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've enjoyed favor from people,
Yeah.
but that focus, that determination with God, with determination, with focus, you will get there. Even if you don't have money, if you have those three things, it will bring money.
Exactly. You see?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So what's your mantra? What's that word you wake up with, you speak to yourself when you don't feel like, and it gives you, the strength?
Life is beautiful.
Wow.
Life is beautiful. That doesn't mean there are no challenges.
Yeah, sure.
There are challenges, but you see, if you see the positive aspect of life,
Yeah.
most times you come across positivity in life.
Yeah.
If you always see the negative, then you always come across difficulty.
That's true.
So for me, life is good. When I see people smile, I'm happy.
Wow.
It gives me joy. If
I
I
know.
can put smile on somebody's face,
Yeah, I know you for
it
that.
gives me a lot of joy.
I know you for that.
Yes.
I know you for
Yes.
that. I mean, that's a
So
very
life is
good one.
beautiful.
That's a very good one.
Yes.
Now you have two people before you. One is the patient,
Okay. Okay.
and the other one is a medical student who wants to, come up to your level. What would be your advice to both of them?
First, to the patient is we are here to give hope to patients. The doctor is a hope to the patient. When a patient is looking at the doctor, he is seeing hope. He's seeing help.
Yeah.
And that is what our first thing should be. So we are to be hope to the patient. The first thing is to reassure the patient. Let the patient, of course, know what the situation is, but that there is hope. Of course, there are some situations that the truth is, even though we try to help the patient, treat the patient, we don't heal the patient.
Exactly.
God does that.
That's God's work.
Now, besides, there are some patients we still lose.
No.
And when that happens, that used to be, but it is the saddest time for me.
Wow.
When I have to break this news
to the family
that the patient didn't make it. It's terrible for every doctor. There are times that I won't be able to eat. There are times that my day is grounded. I won't be able to do anything. It can be like that. Okay, but you see, the doctor is hope to the patient. So we do everything we can to assure the patient. Let the patient know that, look, it's not over. It's not helpless. So the first thing is to know what the problem is. Then once you know what the problem is, then we'll do what the best we can.
And leave the rest for God.
And leave the rest for God. We also encourage the patient to not to take away their eyes from God. You see, because the God factor is important for healing for the patient.
Sure.
Okay? If you see a patient that believes that he's going to be well, most times that patient will be well. But if you see a patient that thinks that the end has come, most times the patient doesn't do well. So you need to lift the expectation of that patient. You need to give them confidence. You need to be able to tell them that, look, there is still hope. Don't give up. Don't give up. Then for the medical students, medicine is tough. It's not for the chicken-hearted people.
Wow. Not for the lazy.
My first year in medical school was more than what I did in 4 years in microbiology. Yes, I can tell you that.
That's a lot of work.
Yes. Medicine is tough. So I would say to the medical students, focus first. You see, there is time for everything. As a medical student, you may not have all the time to go out, tell your friends, spend all the night. Because the volume of things you need to know, the volume of things you need to read, you won't have time. So, first is to let the medical student know that as long as there are doctors, he can become one of them.
Wow, that's true.
He can become one of them, but he must stay focused, be determined, be studious, and he'll make it. There is no doubt about that. It's going to be tough. I can't mince words about it. It's tough.
Yeah.
But they can make it.
Because it's not easy for you to open somebody up and take out the problem, put the person back, and the person is normal again.
Yeah,
So of course it's gonna be tough.
yeah,
Now this is a dream come true for you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You being a consultant today, a specialist today, this was something you wanted to be. Like you said, when you were very young, you were in the primary school. Is that what you said?
yeah.
Okay. And now you are. You can boldly and confidently say, dream do come true.
Yeah.
So can you tell us why you have that confidence to say that dream come true?
First, because I didn't, my parents were not rich. I just had a dream that I want to be a doctor. And even though somehow I was good in school, I was good in school. With my studies, I didn't joke with my studies.
Yeah.
So, but one factor that makes dream come true is God. Like I said, if you remove God from my life, I'm nothing.
That's it.
Absolutely nothing. So the God factor is very cardinal because He's going to instruct you. He's going to direct you. And then He's going to guide you. So that is critical for me. For dreams to come true, you need the God factor. For dreams to come true, you need to maintain focus.
Wow.
Because there are so many things to distract you.
Many.
So many things.
Wow.
You know, and yes, and then of course I was determined. Even when I had to be in the cold all the way in South Africa, I had no money for train. I had to walk for 2 hours to get to the train station. I mean, to get to where I was training.
Under the cold?
Yes, it was cold. 5 a.m. I leave my house where I was staying 5 a.m. I get there after 7. It's terrible, you know, but that's determination. That's determination.
Yeah.
So dreams do come true, but the God factor is important. The determination is important, and your focus.
So I would love you if you can look straight to the audience and just give them a piece of advice on how to stay healthy, what to do to make sure your heart is well kept.
Okay. Yes. If there is anything I would say to you, your life is determined by the strength of your heart. If your heart is sick, your life will be sick, basically. If your heart is well, you're going to live a good life. Not necessarily socially, but you see, living a good life does not necessarily mean you having all the flamboyance. No. We have people in the village that live very good lives. They eat well, they have good relationships with people, they have good relationship with family, they go to their farm, they live freely, they are happy. Their children, they are all well, growing well. That is a good life. So check yourself if you are more than 40, do regular checkups, live a healthy lifestyle, rest well, eat good food. And when you are sick, please go to the doctor. Don't just go to the chemist and go and let them be prescribing. No, see the doctor. Let the doctor diagnose what the problem is and then treat you. And when the doctor gives you medication, please take it. Don't say because you are a child of God and you are believing God, you leave the medication. No. God has given us that wisdom. If you are hungry, you don't go believing God for food when you have food in your kitchen. All you need to do is what? Go to the kitchen, fix food for yourself. Same thing when you're sick, see the doctor and get treated. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Augustine Olugbemi.
It's a pleasure.
God bless you.
Amen.
Now you have heard it all. That's doctor. He said everything that you need to know about your heart and your health. So you see, the behavior has to be right. Have the right character, the right attitude, think the right thoughts, and do the right thing. He has just advised you. Please take his advice and work with it. God bless you.
Thank you.